Hello my dear students. Today here I come with a new video in which we will going to revise the another chapter which is nutrition in animals. This chapter is related with the living organism and hence it is included in biology. Okay. In this video we are going to recall all the content which we understood in this chapter. That's why I have written synopsis of nutrition in animals. Synopsis means summary of the nutrition in animal chapter. So without wasting time, let's get started. In the first chapter, we understood about nutrition and nutrients. Nutrition means living organism takes in food and utilized by their body is known as nutrition. Okay, and whatever the food living organism consumes, okay, that consists of different components such as carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins, minerals, etc. Okay, so also along with that we understood that why nutrition is essential characteristic of a living organism, because this nutrition will going to provide energy to the living being, along with that help in growth, repair their damaged body parts, maintain the body function as well as protect their body against the disease. So that's why nutrition is the essential characteristic of living beings. In this chapter, we are going to understand nutrition in animals, which is further categorized into two types, which is classification based on eating habits, utilization, or should I say digestion in the body. In the sixth standard, first chapter, we understood about classification based on eating habits, which is further categorized according to their food habits. For example, first one is herbivorous. Herbivorous consumes plants and its product. That's why they are known as herbivorous. Examples are very easy: deer, rabbit, goat, sheep, cow, etc. Second category is carnivorous. Carnivorous are the animals which consume animal flesh as their food. So they are known as carnivorous. The examples are tiger, lion, fox, cheetah, etc. Moving to the next is omnivorous. Omnivorous means the animals which consumes both plants and animals as their food. Examples are crow, bear, human beings, etc. The fourth one is parasite, which we understood in the last chapter, nutrition in plants. These are the living organisms which take ready-made food from the other living being. They are known as parasite. The nutrition in plants, the example of parasite was cuscuta, or should I say amarbil, mistletoe, etc. Now the last one is scavengers. Scavengers means the animals which consumes dead and decaying matter. So such animals are included in scavengers. Now we are moving to the next, that we understood the utilization term briefly in this chapter. Okay, we understood total three digestive system, which is digestive system in humans, ruminants and amoeba. So let's understand these three further in detail. Okay, here come, but before that, let us understand the digestion in detail. So in the digestion, we understood that digestion means whatever the food they consume. The living beings, whatever the food they consume, it is completely in a complex form. So their body is converting that complex form into the simpler one. This process is known as digestion. Still, if you are not getting, then let me give you one another example. Suppose you are having the yarn ball, means woolen yarn ball. Okay, so sometimes it happens that it completely get messed up. Means the lots of knots are there and we cannot get a single continuous long thread. Completely messed up yarn ball. But this is it is considered as your food. Now what you are doing, you are going to resolve all the knots and make that thread or make that ball continuous long thread like structure. That is known as simpler form of food. Okay, so basically whatever the complex yarn was there, that is your food, and your hands which is going to resolve is compared with the body. But your body is going to resolve, or should I say convert, the complex food into the simpler one, and so that your body can easily able to absorb that nutrients which is present inside the food. This process is known as digestion. Now digestion is a huge process which consists of different processes. Means it is a kind of a system, digestive system. Digestive system means the organs which will going to perform this digestion process. Okay, so that is known as digestive system. So basically a system consists of various processes. So same way digestive system also consists of processes like ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Firstly, let's talk about ingestion. Ingestion means living organism takes in food, takes in. Ingestion, that is called ingestion. Understood? Okay, moving to the next is digestion. Digestion means the process by which food is broken down into simpler forms which can be absorbed by the body. So that is known as digestion process. Once the digestion complete, then whatever the simpler form we get from the food, okay, that is going to absorbed inside our body. That is known as absorption process. Okay, and whatever the absorbed nutrients are there, okay, that nutrients is been utilized by our body. Means suppose we get simpler sugar by the carbohydrate. Okay, so this sugar will going to combine with the oxygen and you provide you energy. Whatever the protein you consume, due to that reason your body can able to grow as well as repair the damaged body parts. So completely utilization of the nutrients is considered as a assimilation process. And last one, that after completion of all the processes, some sort of undigested food left, and that removal of undigested food is considered as a egestion process. So this is the digestive system, and this is common in all animals. Okay, yeah, organs can be different, but these processes are common in all living organisms. Understood? Okay, now we are moving to the next, that is human digestive system. So over here I have shortened the whole digestive system into different points. Okay, so let's go through it. I will start with the first one, that is ingestion process. We understood the definition of ingestion, so I am not going to repeat it. Okay, now ingestion is happen or occurs inside the mouth. Our mouth consists of a teeth, tongue, salivary gland. Okay, it is considered as a buccal cavity also. Okay, so whatever the food we ingested, it is going to be chewed by our teeth. Okay, and break down into small pieces so that we can easily able to swallow. So as you know that human being consists of two types of teeth, that is two sets of teeth, that is considered as a milk teeth and permanent teeth. Milk teeth arrives at an age of 10 to 10 to 12 months it start. Okay, and falls at the age of the 6. Then whatever the teeth we consume, whatever the teeth we get, that is considered as a permanent teeth, and this permanent teeth is having total 32 teeth. Okay, while milk teeth is having set of 10, means to a total 20 teeth in inside the mouth, but permanent teeth total 32 teeth are there inside the mouth. Now this permanent teeth is having further classified into four types, that is incisor, canine, premolars and molars. Okay, I'm speaking one sentence for each one. That is incisors, which is the front teeth that is having very sharp edged teeth. Okay, its function is to cut and bite your food. Next one is canine. Canine is total pointed teeth inside the mouth. Total two sets in each jaw. In total four teeth are there of canine. Okay, and its function is to grasp and tear the food. Then moved for the next, that is premolars, which is flat teeth. Okay, and its function is to chew and crush the food. And last one is the wide grinding surface known as molar. Its function is to grind the food. Okay. Next one is tongue. Okay, so tongue's function is to identify the taste. You know, total 5 tests are there, so it will going to be tested by the tongue. Moving to the next, that is, it also help you to speak, also help to move food from one place to another inside the mouth, and also once the chewing process is completed, then it helps to swallow the. Next one is esophagus. Esophagus helps to move the food, or should I say, it will push the food from the mouth to the stomach. So this is the completely ingesting organs, or should I say organs which perform the ingestion process. You might feel that might be madam forgot one important organ which is salivary gland. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm going to include that in digestion system, because in the mouth one gland is there, its name is saliva, which secretes saliva, and it will going to digest the starch, or should I say the carbohydrates, into the simpler form. Understood? Okay. Next one is about stomach. So stomach is having very small C-shaped sac-like structure. Okay, and it secretes total three juices, that is digestive, hydrochloric acid, and mucus. So digestive juices function is to secrete the pepsin content enzyme. It is kind of enzyme. We're going to secrete pepsin, and that pepsin is digesting the protein, converted into the amino acid. Next one is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid will provide the acidic medium for complete digestion, as well as it will going to kill the bacteria too. Last one is mucus. Mucus will going to protect the stomach lining, okay, because our stomach consisting of acid, which might going to damage the stomach linings. So this mucus will going to protect this stomach lining, okay, so that your stomach do not get any harm. Next one is, after completion of the stomach, the food further moves inside the small intestine. The 7-meter coiled tube is considered as a small intestine. Okay, it is secreting one juice named as intestinal juice. So inside this small intestine, along with the intestinal juice, they are receiving further digestive juice from the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas, and hence the complete digestion happens in the small intestine. Okay, so this is the digestion. Okay, moving to the next is digestive gland. Okay, so digestive gland consists total three, that is liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. Liver and gallbladder is a combination. Liver is producing the bile, and it is temporarily stored inside the gallbladder, and this bile juice function is to digest the fat and convert it into the fatty acid and glycerol. Next one is pancreas. Pancreas is having leafy structure, and it will going to secrete pancreatic juice, which partially digest the carbohydrates, fats, and protein. So our digestion process is completed. Moving to the next is absorption, which happens in small and large intestine. Our small intestine consists of a finger-like projection which is known as villi, and this villi is consists of a large network of blood vessels. So whatever the simpler form of food is there inside the small intestine, it is going to be now absorbed inside this villi. This villi consists of blood vessels, so Now all the simpler form of nutrients is transport inside the blood, and this blood will going to transport the nutrients into the rest of all body cells. Okay, so this process is absorption. Okay, in the large intestine, the last portion is going to be absorbed, that is whatever the food is there which is remain. Okay, from that the large intestine will going to absorb the salt and water. Okay, so almost all useful components are being absorbed by this small and large intestine, and then after whatever the food is left, that is considered as a undigested food. These undigested food is also considered as a fecal. Okay, fecal formation happens in large intestine. So absorption process is done. Moving to the next is assimilation process, which I explained just now. That whatever the nutrients has been absorbed into the blood, it is transported into the rest of all body cells, and these cells are going to use these nutrients. Like for example, sugar is used for producing the energy. Amino acid is being used for growth and repairing. Okay, and for the fatty acid, glycerol, vitamins, minerals will going to perform the further various body functions and helps to fight against the disease also. So like this way we are going to like this way our body is going to utilize these nutrients. This process is considered as a assimilation process. Next one is egestion. So I spoke that in the large intestine, the fecal matter is going to be formed, or should I say the undigested food is left. These undigested food is transported to the another gland, or should I say another sac-like structure. It is known as rectum. Okay, this rectum is going to store the undigested food for temporary purpose. Once and after some time to time, the anus will going to remove this undigested food from the body. So this is the our whole alimentary canal which perform ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. I hope you understand the whole human digestive system, and you you have recalled all the content which we understood in detail. Now we are moving for the next, that is ruminants. Ruminant means the herbivores which consume the plant and its product. They are quickly swallow the food, okay, and then after they will going to bring back that chewed food from their mouth, okay, and start chewing once again and digesting. This process is known as rumination process, and such animals which follow this rumination process are termed as ruminants. Understood? Okay, so mostly the herbivores are consuming the plant and its products, and these are consist of one important carbohydrate named as cellulose. This cellulose required proper digestion. Okay, and for that these herbivores are having some special structure named as rumen. Okay, and rumen consists of some important bacteria which will going to break down this cellulose. Okay, so how they are doing? Firstly, they are going to consume the plant and its product. Immediately, they are going to chew it and directly swallow it. And when they are free, okay, at that time they are going to bring back that chewed and partially digested food, which is considered as a cud. Okay, and they bring that cud into the small lumps into their mouths, and they are going to start continuously chewing it, and at that time this carbohydrate is going to break down into the simpler sugar one. So this process is known as rumination process. Okay, now I hope you understand about the ruminants also. Okay, though they are having one special structure, but they are also following the ingestion process, digestion process, absorption and assimilation process, and egestion process. Okay, moving to the last one, that is amoeba. So amoeba is a single cellular body. See, our body is made up of trillions of cells, but amoeba is a microscopic body, and it is made up of just one cell, which is having no fixed shape. Okay, how they are going to perform the digestion? So their body is completely having uneven shape, okay, and they are having one structure named as pseudopodia. P is silent. Pseudopodia is considered as a false feet. These false feet help the amoeba to move from one place to another place, helps to perform movement and trap the food whenever they detect it. Okay, pseudopodia basically live in pond water. Okay, they are living on the surface of the pond water. Okay, and their food are microscopic plants and animals. Okay, whenever they finds that their respected food is nearby, they just extend that pseudopodia and start moving and reach to the food. Okay, and then they are going to engulf that food directly, and this food is sent inside the food vacuole. This food vacuole will secrete the digestive juices as our body can do. Okay, inside the stomach, you know that digestive juice is secreting and it will going to digest the food. Same way, amoeba is also having food vacuole which secrete digestive juice and break down their food and convert it into the simpler one. So like this way, the digestion is happen. Then after, their body is going to utilize that food by growing and performing some other processes of our body. Okay, and then after, whatever the undigested food, it will going to removed from the body, that is considered as a egestion process. So like this way, amoeba is also following all the processes, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Okay, so in this chapter we completely understood about how our body utilizing the food that we consume. Okay, I hope you understand the whole chapter. Once again, you have recalled all the content which we understood in the last videos. Okay, next time I will come with the next chapter. Till then, I hope you have start writing inside the class workbook. Okay, I have already uploaded all the PDF file for class 7. So please beta go through it and start writing inside the notebook. So it will be much easier to understand the content of the 7th standard. Till then, stay happy. Have a nice day. Bye.